Hi, welcome to Podiatry Practice Mastery. I have Mr. Hemant Varshney here with me, kind of a social media website guru. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here, Don.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we were chatting a little bit offline. I know you have some family members that are physicians and you help some physicians. I guess let's get into a little bit about how you got into this area, kind of what your backstory is, and then specifically how you've been able to help some physicians.
Yeah, so a little bit about myself. So I've been in advertising for about 14 years. I've been a head of growth down on Wall Street for Jim Cramer. I've been a consultant at American Express. Was part of a hyper growth startup. I built a team of 30. To run ads across different ad platforms. And then I kind of jumped ship and started my own business called Digicom. We run advertising campaigns for a number of different businesses. We predominantly focus on the e-com space, but also have worked with a few different doctors. My mother's a doctor, and then my aunts and uncles, a couple of them are doctors as well.
And we were talking before, you were specifically saying, I think doctors sometimes can be, how do you say it, maybe easy prey because they're very good at being doctors, but sometimes in terms of AdWords and marketing their practice, they need maybe some help or some advice, like a trusted advisor. So tell me a little bit about the problems that you see and maybe some of the solutions that you've been able to help people with.
Yeah, so I think the first challenge, kind of doctors go through in this marketing landscape is you'll have like agencies reach out and they'll pitch you like, hey, we'll build your website and charge you a couple $1,000s up front, and then charge doctors like $500 to $800 a month, like maintenance fees. Really during this maintenance period, and these a lot of these doctors are signed up on a 1-year plan, 2-year plan, and if you kind of think about that, it's like what, $9,600 a year at with $800 a month fee. You're paying for maintenance, and the reality of that maintenance, it's not a lot happens during this maintenance period, right? So like a lot of doctors, what I would advise them is have a site built, maybe pay more upfront instead of paying that $2K down or that $3K down. Work with a partner where you pay like the $4,500 up front and own your website, own your URL. Your maintenance fees will then be $20 a month or $30 a month. And in the long run, you're going to save thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And then, some doctors will be like, well, what if I want to make a change? You can build that into a contract, right? Where it's like $30 an hour, $40 an hour. Usually the majority of the changes a lot of doctors will want to make over that 1 to 2 periods, it's only like a few hours worth of work. So there's just a lot of cost savings that that doctors are unaware of, right? Doctors are, again, great at medicine, right, but may not know the intricacies of digital. And like you mentioned, they can be very much easy prey for a lot of these medical advertising agencies.
And I think a lot of them focus on maybe getting reviews for you or getting SEO or maybe ghostwriting articles.
Yep.
So let's talk about what are some of the best practices. Let's say you have a website. What are some of the best practices for helping SEO? Everyone has a different opinion. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so there's a number of factors that go into SEO, but having content created on your blog, right? That's very important. It gets new traffic out there. Google, Bing, all of these search engines are constantly crawling your website to find new details. If you're in, a specific area, the SEO terms you want to focus in on, it's like that area, doctor near me, like foot doctor near Worcester.
Yeah.
Something of that nature. You want to focus on these like very specific types of keywords, so you start to propagate at the top. There's a lot of foot doctors across the country in this example, so maybe not focusing on just the word foot doctor. It's probably like the best advice I can give. And then to continue building SEO, write articles, do shows, go to conferences, have people connect with folks where your site is getting backlinked to. And that over time builds your SEO.
That's great. Now you've had some work with some podiatrists, I guess, in New York where you're at. Tell
Yep.
me what your experience has been, how you've been able to help them, kind of the before and the after the transformation.
Sure. So podiatrists I work with, or the company, it's Metropolitan Podiatry. That's the first case study. When we started working with them, their website URL is footdoctor.com. Started to work with them. We built their entire site. We built it up on Wix. We set up tracking, develop all the creatives, all the content. And what we effectively did for the doctor on the first part of it was got them out of a contract that costed the doctor, I think it was like $600 a month. And then
Was it Patient Pop?
it was a Patient Pop site, yes. And then after that, his costs dropped down to about, I think like $30. Once like that was his like monthly maintenance cost from Wix, which is, that's not a lot for a website. I think that's pretty fair. And then from there, the next thing we did was we took the leftover budget and added some money, so about $2,000 a month, and we started running ad campaigns for him. When we first started, I think we were spending around like $4K a month, and eventually optimized to about a $3K budget. He wanted to target the Queens, Brooklyn Queens, Brooklyn areas. So when we first started running ads for footdoctor.com, the doctor was seeing about 40 patients a week at a cost per patient of $120. By the time we got into month 3, he was seeing about 145 patients a month. I think I said week before, 40 patients a month. That jump up to 145 patients a month at a $22 cost per patient. So if you kind of like break out the economics, maybe you make about $150 per patient. It costs you $22 to acquire the patient. It's about like what, 128. It's your, it's the margins that are generated after like ad spend. So that was the first example. And then he put me in touch with a couple other doctors, and the other doctor that I worked with, Co-op City Foot Care, great doctor, super nice guy, really wanted to like understand the numbers and dive in. And so we built out his ad campaigns, and last year he saw about 896 new patients. That comes down to about 20 new patients a week. And his incremental revenue after ad spend in our fees was about $100,000 more a year.
That's awesome. Let's talk about, like, in terms of doing AdWords, we kind of turn them on and off at times in our practice. And what I feel like, this is just the conversation in my head, is I kind of like direct response. So I like Dan Kennedy. I like those types of things, not just like, hey, I'm the best foot doctor around.
Yep.
Kind of more direct response for plantar fasciitis or something like that. What are your thoughts in terms of, do you like direct response, or do you think it's just an image of like the doctor's name out there? What do you think works best?
Sure. So in the ads we're running Google ad campaigns, right? So everything is focused for direct response. We're not so much running Facebook ads, because if you see, image and text of like a broken foot and you don't have a broken foot, it's very hard to like target, finding the right patient for you. Maybe like bunions or something else might make sense, but also a lot of people might not want to see that, as they're scrolling through their feeds. So, our strategy has been leverage Google, geo-target in a specific area, only run the ads between certain times where the practice is open. Some doctors will run them 24 hours, but it just makes sense to run when someone can answer a phone, maybe book an appointment. And what we end up doing is running campaigns where we're optimizing towards a couple different conversion events. So first conversion event is a phone call click. On the ad, someone can call you directly. If they get to your site, we can track the phone calls that are occurring. The next one is booking an appointment. If you have a book appointment tool that you're leveraging, having events fire that someone's booking an appointment. And then the third one is just general contact, and so we're breaking out these campaigns and viewing performance by each one of these conversion events. And over time, you're optimizing. So yeah, I mean, that's generally our strategy. It's pretty much direct response, all the way. It's about, hey, plantar fasciitis. I personally had it. It's horrible. And, so when you're looking for a doctor and it's plantar fasciitis, doctor near me, zip code targets, it might make sense to, what we like to do in our ad campaigns is we break down every zip code. This doesn't just happen in Google. You have to add this information in, and then you can see performance by zip code. You might see one zip code perform really, really well and realize, hey, we're only serving ads 50% of the times. So you might want to bid up on that specific zip code so that, you're getting more patient volume from that zip code, while other zip codes, maybe you're not seeing that, the best patient volume. And so you decide to kind of turn off and optimize the way you're leveraging your ad dollars.
Nice. Do you guys do is it mostly online stuff? Do you guys do any offline ads, like paper ads or other types of things like that? Or is your main focus AdWords?
Yeah. So with working with doctors, we're focusing predominantly on digital. Online, we'll jump in and optimize ZocDoc campaigns, and so we'll look at that, but it's all online. But then, with the majority of our client suites, they're all D2C venture-backed businesses. Think the HelloFreshes and BarkBoxes of the world. That's a large portion of our business where we're running on Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, all of these different ad channels. So, it's pretty diverse.
Yeah, let's talk about. I am familiar with ZocDoc. We have it's through Athena, so it can. That's our medical record, so it can book it right through Athena. Tell me a little bit about ZocDoc and the price points. Is it free? How much does it cost? Is it pretty easy to set up? Things like that.
Yeah. So in terms of ZocDoc, it's basically a doctor listing website, right? And patients can hop on ZocDoc. ZocDoc's bidding on a bunch of keywords out there. You're probably going to compete with them if you're running in local markets. And their goal is to get users to one of their landing pages. And then there's a list of different doctors. You can filter by different healthcare providers or insurance providers, and then find a doctor and then, book. ZocDoc used to have a different model where it was cost per 1,000 impressions. And if your conversion rates and reviews are good on site, that's pretty advantageous to the doctor because you could bid up on those in the auction and kind of appear at the top. And it's pretty easy to calculate out the efficiency of the channel. Now, ZocDoc, I think, does a per booking charge. So anytime someone books, there's a bounty on that booking that occurs. So yeah, I've used ZocDoc personally. It just makes life easy when you're looking for the right provider.
Well, I like the idea of the bounty because it makes so much more sense. That's money in your pocket versus impressions, which is always kind of vague.
Yeah. So since we're running all these digital campaigns, we have the understanding of how to manipulate the CPMs to make the numbers work and how to work on pages with the doctor. The challenge with the bounty, it's that you might not appear at the top because say, we're bidding $30 bounty. Another doctor is like, hey, I really need volume. So you have 3 more doctors. It's they're bidding 40, 45, 50, and they have larger budgets. They're almost always going to show up.
That makes sense. Okay. Yeah. Let's switch and talk a little bit about importance of online reviews and testimonials and video testimonials specifically. Do you have any good tips on how to get some of those things? Does your mom use any of those or other people that you know?
Yeah, so testimonial super important. There's a number of different ways you could have people write these reviews. I think the easiest way is in your practice, maybe have one of the little stands where it says give us a review, we'll give you $10 off your treatment or something of that nature. And then as you build these testimonials over time, it's all social proof. So as people are Googling you, if you're running Google ads, if you're looking to run Google ads, then all of your information is displayed. There are different partners out there, Trustpilot. Trustpilot's, one that's like easily integratable into a lot of different platforms and sites. So that's one way to build reviews, video testimonials. If you're going to, have video testimonials, I think what is a good way to approach it, it's the patient or that's giving the testimonial. If you can have them record the main testimonial first, and then have them record 3 to 5 hooks that you can stitch together, then what you've effectively done is created, instead of one piece of content you want to market, you have now 6 different pieces of content, right? Because you can take hook 1, hook 2, hook 3, and then stitch it together with the main content piece. And so what that allows a lot of doctors to do, or just a lot of brands, businesses out there, is create more content. Maybe you spend 10 or 15 minutes more having the hooks, but then you also learn over time, if you're running any ad campaigns with like video, what hooks are working, and then you can create more of, the type of assets that work for your business.
And so I've personally struggled just because it doesn't fit into my flow very well. In the past, I used to like hold a cell phone and have a patient record. That tended to be the easiest, is me just asking them and then having them record it right there. I've tried other like elegant ways of sending them a link and they click it and they record their own video at home or on their phone. I just find that when they leave the office, it's a little bit more challenging for me to get those. I can get them easily if I send them a link to my Google My Business listing, and they can do it that way. Like, a written one's pretty easy, but video are a little bit more challenging. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And, if the patient's in, and if, you have a good relationship with the patient, then I think you should just ask them and just do it in office. And really the best way to get these testimonials is just have a list of questions that you're going to ask them. How's your treatment? How did you like our practice? And let them answer it. And then what you can do to create this content is just remove the parts where you're asking the questions, and concatenate all of the other pieces of videos you have, and it eventually creates a piece of content for you.
Yeah, no, that's editing it that way. For those that are not professional editors, what are some good, easy editing software that you would recommend?
Sure. I mean, like at Digi, we're using like the Adobe suite. I think it's like monthly, it's like 20 bucks.
Yeah, 30 bucks or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy to use. If you have a Mac, there's like some pre-downloaded software. And then I know this Final Cut as well. It's a little more expensive. Yeah, I would use, one of those two.
I found Canva is a little heavy for video. Like, Canva didn't work too well for videos, longer videos. What the heck? There was one I was using in my Mac. It was one, I forgot the name of it. There's a couple on like Garage. There's simple ones, GarageBand and different things like that you can use.
Yeah.
Awesome. How about in terms of video capturing? I know we're recording this on Zoom, but what I sometimes find that the quality of the video is not really HD, or it is maybe HD, but it's a lot different than other stuff when you're making video content. Any good video capturing, or just the phone? What's the best way to capture video?
Yeah, so I would say, because it's a testimonial, you want it to be authentic. You could have like DSLR camera that you're shooting these videos on. Might make sense depending on like the type of practice you have. But if you have one of the newer iPhones, 12, 13,
they're pretty good.
What I would recommend is like buying a stand and buying a light, just to have like proper lighting. But overall, you could just use your iPhone, go into cinematic, create the video, easily export it. I think that's just the easiest, most also a low cost way to do it. And the quality overall is good. And, in terms of like the ads we run for a lot of the direct to consumer brands we work with, UGC, so anything taken on an iPhone, tends to perform better than polished ads. And we've seen this trend for the last few years. So,
So explain that to me. So like kind of authentic versus edited.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So you have a picture, imagine a food box on your dinner table. You have a DSLR camera, you've taken the picture, you've cut out backgrounds, you've edited it. It looks it looks very on brand and beautiful. And then you have another image of same picture on your iPhone, and you run a head-to-head test. 8 out of 10 times the image on the iPhone works better. It's UGC's user generated.
What's UGC? Tell me what that means.
It's user generated content.
Okay.
So we just tend to see that, typically outperform, doesn't always outperform, but it does typically outperform. And so with these testimonials, I think if you can create a more UGC video, of course you want to clean your background, not to be messy, any of that. Just clean on your iPhone. We just see stronger performance.
That's awesome. So let's go back and you're going to tell us a little bit how they can learn more about your business after this last question. But I want to kind of go back and let's say, I think a lot of the patients or the docs that are listening to this, they're running their own practice, maybe 1 or 2 doc shops.
Yep.
They really need more new patients and they want to go deeper with the current patients they have.
Yep.
Give me the top 3 tips to get new patients in the door and produce more revenue with the patients they have.
So, if you don't have a website, you need a website.
Mm-hmm.
Have you or have someone in your office sign up to all of the doctor platforms in the local area, just so if someone wants to find you, they can set up that Trustpilot account, so you can start get reviews, up and going. And then once all of that's done, start running, some ads. We can help you with that. And we've done it with a few different doctors. We've seen pretty good results. Happy to also connect with the respective doctors so they can speak about it. And you can hear it come from them as a reference. So I would say that in terms of retention, so I think dentists do this really well. You go into a CRM, you're getting these automatic reminders every time there's a birthday, you're getting these happy birthday wishes. When 6 months have elapsed and you should come back in for a checkup, you're getting all these automatic emails, messages, and so all of that helps with the retention. It might be a little different for podiatry practices, but you can essentially create that entire automatic messaging system to remind patients of their next appointment, to reach back out, to provide them with information, or just send a happy birthday text. Because at the end of the day, if a patient remembers your practice and you've done a really good job with the patient, they'll also refer you business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big part to also grow your practice.
That's awesome. Great. Thank you so much. If people want to learn more about you, is there a website or an email, or what's the best way to contact you?
Yeah, so please check out our website. It's digicom.io, or please feel free to shoot me an email at hemant@digicom.io. We're happy to look at what you've currently done, run a free audit on your website. If you're running ads, provide you with the detail, run an audit on how we can optimize your ads. And my mom's a doctor. My goal is to help, as many businesses as I can. So I'm happy to provide these services. And if we end up working together, would love that as well.
Okay, great. Thanks, Hemant.
Thank you.